Hello, this is Jeanette. This is the owner of this Appaloosa. This horse, Jeanette came in, and this horse came into my proximity by, Jeanette ended up on the ground a couple times. And she was a very explosive mare, and when I say explosive, evidently Jeanette was just about getting the saddle in, come off. So Jeanette, just tell me her age and a little bit what you were doing with her and pretty much what happened.
She's 5 years old, and I had gotten her when she was less than 2 from a rescue. So she had already had some problems in the beginning. I don't know what her background was from when she was born, but she was always a little skittish, so I worked with her really slow and didn't get on her back until first time I think was about a year ago. So she was like 4 years old, and she let me get on her then. Didn't do anything, and it was only the last few months before I brought her here to David that I would I put my foot in the saddle and start to throw my leg over, and first time she just bolted, went straight up in the air, and I went flying and hit the dirt. And I got back on her that time, and she stood. The next time I tried to get on her, which was about a week or so later, same thing happened, and I came off again, and that's when I decided I needed to get some help. But she's a good-natured little girl.
Yeah, Bella is the horse's name. It's one of the horses, I actually do remember her name because one of my close friends got a daughter named Bella. But anyway, and what I'm going to do in the process of this, I'm not going through the whole routine because if you look at my past pictures, movies on YouTube, the flag work, the barrel rope that I just did on the horse I evaluated for the rescue, I used all that in play because this mare was very explosive when she bucked, and I mean this mare would buck. If I was 30 years ago, you know, I gotta admit, I'd probably smile and say, let's have some fun. But I'm not. And plus, it's not gonna do Jeanette no good. That's the whole premise. When I train these horses, I got to try to take the client in effect, not the horse not the horse per se. I gotta approach it with the horse, and my key thing is the horse is gonna come first. But I got to go with, try to keep this horse quiet. Yes, I could have bucked her out, but then she probably would have always been a little bit explosive, and I don't want that to happen to Jeanette. This is a good horse. She's showing me a lot of talent, and y'all will see that today. So like I said, I'm not going to go through that, but I will go through a little bit of my in-hand work and what I've done through the process. Now, I did do a lot of work with me and Smokey, my app horse. You see in some of my other videos where I was above her, so she'd get used to me on both sides. Because she was really explosive on her right side, her off side. I mean, she was bad. She didn't want nobody to approach, and with Smokey, me being on another horse made it easier. I could bump her with my feet, my legs, while I'm right next to her. And then at a point, you say, well, Smokey be my crutch. No, then, and I'll show you that today, I'll use the rail, and I teach her how to come over to me on the rail, and then I'll pet on her. This mare, yes, I did some in-hand work because I wanted to get her eye on me. But if you did too much in-hand work and get carried away with your sticks or whatever tools you use, this mare would be a basket case. Some horses cannot handle it, and people will argue, beg, differ, but I'm sorry, this is the truth. I got a horse here right now that went through the system, and the more she sees stuff, the more she gets upset. You got to take, when you do some of this other kind of stuff, you got to really take that horse's personality into consideration. Too much can be too much. Sometimes less is more, and what you'll see with her. And if Jeanette comes back out of the way. Now, the first thing I do when I saddle her now is I'm not going to let her run off. Jeanette, if you want, you can just sort of move my camera around.
Sure.
And listen too. I got to talk loud. There. All right. Well, I'll first do. I'm just going to let her meal around. I'm not going to run her out. I don't want her to learn just to run out. She already could do that. And my key thing is just to get her to relax. So at first, I just let her walk around, and then we'll just move her. Now, she's going to match my speed. Now, right here, I'm going to ask her to reverse a little bit. And if she does it right, there. See, she matched how fast I went. And she's really got her eye on me. Now if I picked up the speed a little bit, she's gonna pick up the speed a little bit. I stop, she stops. I'm not going to bend over and look at her hiney because, number one, I can't see my butt. And a horse, when you use them exaggerated moves, what happens is you're taking some of that natural horse's ability away from you. They're really, part of their key role of communication is visual, and they can notice that slight change. Like when I ask her to move, and I just step here, you know, she's going to match me. I want her to learn to pay attention to my body, like right there. My focus came off this horse, and what happens when the horse, my focus came off, she stopped and came to me. She knows, okay, David stopped, so I get to stop. So that's the way we start the first session. And like I said, I want to try to keep this mare real relaxed. Now from there, since she really had a problem with me being above her, like I said, I used Smokey a lot. But then I had to break her off his crutch, and so what I would do,
Okay.
so what I will do is I'll come over to the rail, and I'm just going to, see, I've already taught her that when I'm up on this rail, this is what she should do. Because what she's doing, she's getting used to me being over, you know, I can wiggle this saddle, and I can do whatever. I'll take my foot, goose her a little bit. Now how did I do that? This is where I did use a stick. Now I used just a broken lunge whip, that's all. It's about 4 foot, 4.5 feet, so I can touch this hip. So I just tap on her hip. She moves a little bit, I quit tapping. Now if I want her to go the other way, come on. Tap. She moves, I quit tapping. And this is, like I said, this is getting her used to me being up here without anything drastic happening. I pet on her. In other words, me being above her is a good thing. Sit and off. Sit and off. Like bouncing. Because like I said, I got to look at in this horse. This is, as you see in that video, when she sits down and pops around, she's a very talented horse. I mean, this is what some of us guys likes to rein and cow work. This is what we will be looking for. So I'm going to use my drill. You don't need another horse. Like I said, I can do that. And from there, I want to really get her soft before I climb on her.